Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Katie.
And this is...
KR Compares. You made me do it this time.
I did. Well, I mean, we have to find it. Maybe we need to find a new opening. Maybe we'll have one of those, like... Now that I've got an idea for, like, an opening that we have, like, which is a mix of all of our previous openings. But I still feel like we have to say it.
Okay.
Maybe we'll set up a... I have no idea. Anyway, if you take a look at us, this is not how I normally dress.
That's not true. That's how you normally dress for the gym.
See, I start the lead in, and then she just takes it over. She runs with it, like she doesn't give me any chance to. Yes, we're about to. It's gym time soon.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of going to the gym, we need to have a snack before we go, which you should best do an hour to a half an hour before, depending on what you're consuming. But that means thematically, we're having protein bars. A lot of them, actually. We have eight to choose from. I've tried, I'm sure, half of these. I think. Over the course of...
Forever.
Yeah. But there's one or two that we have regularly that I've come to enjoy. But I want to see how they actually compare against a number of others. Now,
there was a lot.
There were so many. There are so many various bars, whatever. So we couldn't possibly... I mean, we could have, but this would be a 2-hour-long show, and we'd be spending a lot of money, and... Admittedly, we still have to go to the gym, so I don't want something sitting too heavily on me. But we have 8 to choose from.
And also, like, not all of them had similar flavors, so we were trying to at least be consistent in it being, like, chocolate or double chocolate.
Exactly. So, we avoided peanut butter is an excellent flavor to have, but we did just do the peanut butter cup episode. You can check it out up there. So, in the interest of trying something different, we went with chocolate, which I think is the next most popular flavor. We've also got, like, vanillas, and I've seen some crazy stuff, like chocolate raspberry and red velvet cake, which probably fantastic.
Birthday cake, they have like lemon ones, all these other ones.
Yeah. But we have 8 approximately chocolate flavored, chocolate brownie, chocolate whatever, dark chocolate, whatever it's called, bars that we're going to try. Theoretically, these are supposed to be healthier bars. These are not just regular candy bars. They're usually focusing on protein, low calories, that kind of thing. What do we know about any of these? Or is there anything you would like to open with about these in general? No. Nothing. She's got nothing. Okay. So.
I was going to say, how are we going to attack this pile?
Slowly, probably.
Well, I mean, like, should we go with the oldest?
Well, we've already decided. She's asking like we didn't already decide earlier. But yes, we're starting with the oldest, and oldest? It was oldest, right, that we went with?
Yeah.
Oldest, and we're moving away to the newest. So we do actually have 2 brands of the Clif bars, Clif and Clif Builders. They're actually going to be separate, so normally I would put those together just to see how they compare side by side. But forget it. We'll just do them in the order that they were created. So we've got Think, Quest, Pure Protein, Clif Builders, RX Bar, Regular Clif, Raw Rev, and Luna. So this is everything we're trying. Now, I will say we have had, and we actually regularly get the Pure Protein in like the big case, but that's because we get it from Costco, and it's a really good deal. It's a good deal. I also would have liked to include the Met RX bars. For those of you that might be familiar, those are the jumbo bars, like 32 grams of protein. We didn't actually find any. They also tended to be like $4.
They could have been in a different spot, but I didn't see them.
A lot of these we bought individually, so we're, price comparison is going to get a little weirder because some of, like these, for example, we bought in the Costco package, which your mileage may vary. I know the 4 or 6 pack, whatever they have now in the stores, the Pure Protein is actually way more expensive, like per bar, than to just buy it in bulk. Yeah,
I mean, I think individually it's probably around maybe like $2, but
okay. There's still you're looking at $1.50 to $4 depending on the bar, I think. Anyway, and then after all of this, so we're going to compare flavor, texture, chew, whatever. And then at the end of this, and Katie's going to give us some fun facts along the way, and then I will throw up some nutrition facts for these, and we could do side-by-side comparisons. Which one of these are the healthiest, so to speak. Bear in mind, important disclaimer, we are not nutritionists, we are not dietitians, we are not exercise folk, we're enthusiasts, and we do take, our own health, fairly seriously, and this show, I think, along with everything else we've done in the past, is about being an informed consumer. The reason we do this show is so that it really is more for us than it is for you guys, but it is about making informed decisions, and this is a way for us to record this. So, we're actually taking these things and say, what is the difference? Does the taste matter as much versus the nutrition? And these are still candy. All of this is candy, all of it. Some of it more so than others, and these are meant to supplement an already healthy diet. This is not meant to replace a meal. You should never go under 1,500 calories without talking to a doctor. All this is, again, very subjective body chemistry stuff, but might as well look at it. Maybe something tastes better.
Yeah.
So, and it's vaguely healthy. So let's get to it. We're going to start with Clif and Pure Protein. So we'll do these kind of side by side and all of this. And we'll get started on this in just a moment. And to start, we've got our Clif Bar. So we're just going to shave off a bit of this. I don't want to eat all of this right before we go to the gym, and then you have that brick sitting in your stomach. Speaking of, I told a friend I was doing the protein episode, and he said, you should record the after effects to see how this affects your
gut.
Your gut. That's a much better way to phrase it than I would have. So maybe there'll be an update in the comments about don't have this much protein in one sitting, or you'll spend a lot of time sitting. Sitting rhymes with sitting. Anyway, what do we know about Clif?
Okay, so the Clif Bar, Clif came out in the early 90s. So there's this guy named Gary...
Clif.
No, Erickson. It's actually named after his dad, Clifford. But I guess he was like super into...
Rock climbing?
Well, he had this like revelatory kind of epiphany or whatever during a 175-mile bike ride in 1990, and he
I also have some kind of revolution. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, but he basically was just like so sick of whatever protein bars were available at the, were like health bars or whatever at the time, and he was like, I could do this and make it better, and then kind of the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple fun facts. Obviously we have the Builders one, which is more, I think, like protein focused.
Properly protein focused, yeah.
But there's actually a third bar in this that's actually owned by Clif.
Of course. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to make a guess?
Do I want to take a guess what else is owned by Clif?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, it's got to be Think.
No.
It's not Think.
It's not Think.
Okay, that was my guess.
Okay, so we'll reveal that in a little bit.
Okay.
Not a whole lot other than they now they're owned by a parent company called Mondelez.
Oh.
So they're like this giant corporation that owns like a bunch of things, including like Cadbury. They own Ritz. They own
Mondelez is one of
tons
the
things.
Problematic chocolate importers, the major ones, on the level of Nestle and a few others. If you're informed in like fair trade and chocolate and all that. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That I think only came out in like 2015 or so. I'm not 100% sure on the year. And then another thing, just getting to know the company of Clif, they have this really cool, like they pay for their employees to actually volunteer.
Okay. Does it count as volunteering if you're getting paid to do it?
Well, because it's something like, usually you would want to be, doing community service work, and you can't do it because you're at your job.
No, I mean, that's fair.
So
it's not the first time I've heard of a job doing this.
No,
You've had jobs that did that.
My jobs have done that in the past. But yeah, so they have it, and it's called like Project 2080 because a full-time employee works 2,080 hours, if they're working 40 hours a week.
How many like days in the year are they allowed to volunteer and get paid for it?
They can be paid at least 20 hours.
Oh, so I guess, hey, you know what? It's something. If they've got like 1,000 employees or whatever, it's, hey, you know what? Something. If they even utilize this.
Yeah.
I doubt the C-suite is out there volunteering for their C-suite. There's also probably,
it's,
how does that work
it's
if you're
just
salaried?
What do you mean?
Like if you're salaried, because I figure like it makes sense for like, I guess you just take the day off and just, that makes more sense. Okay, that's fine.
Isn't that kind of cool? And then,
I mean, it is kind of cool. Yeah. Huh.
What else can I say about them?
I don't know.
They so in the early 2000s, I think 2003, they started using organic ingredients. So
in 2023?
No, 2003.
2000. That makes
so
that's
over
much
20
better.
years of
I'm like, oh, they just started.
Organic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just very quick fun facts. This is the oldest one.
I mean, it doesn't look particularly appealing. Kind of. I mean, but whatever. This is supposed to be...
Kind of like a granola bar of some sort.
Yeah, supposed to be a chocolate brownie. So, I probably should just cut this evenly, but whatever. A little sticky.
It.
I mean, it smells like chocolate. It smells like...
Yeah, it does.
Really, it smells like dark chocolate.
Does it have, like, dates or something in it? Why it's, like, kind of bendy?
I mean, do dates make things bendy? I'm sure there's other kinds of... I mean,
like
rice...
sweet and sticky.
Oats, brown rice, rice crisps.
Oh, okay.
I don't see dates.
Never mind.
I'm also not looking very hard.
That's fine.
Barley malt. Anyway, whatever. Here we go. I've definitely had a Clif Bar before. But I don't think I've had this flavor. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It feels substantial.
Yep. It's got a good texture, good chew.
It's got
not chalky, which is a problem.
It's not chalky, but I wonder what kind of... You said like brown malt syrup or something like that. I was wondering because it has a bit of an aftertaste.
Yeah.
Which is probably from whatever sweeteners they use.
Brown rice syrup, soy crisps. We're gonna get into the sweeten, the sugars and all that a bit later because there are two kinds of sugars that are going to appear in this, from a more general nutrition standpoint. Interesting. Okay.
Not bad.
I'm on board.
It feels kind of healthy if you're eating it.
I mean, yeah. I know the nutrition facts on these, so I'm going to try to poorly hide all my opinions on these.
Okay.
Pure protein. We've had these. What do we know about pure protein?
They've been around since about 95. They are owned by this parent company called 1440 Foods, which is kind of health and wellness.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Nutrition
okay. Yeah.
Type thing. Their parent company also owns the VRX or the MedRx that you were just talking about the meal replacement bar. So the parent company of Pure Protein owns that as well.
Interesting. Do they does MedRx have anything to do with RX bars?
Mm-mm.
Interesting. Okay, carry on.
And unlike some of the different bars that we're gonna try, this one uses whey protein.
Okay.
And I have no clue about that Clif Bar, if it had any whey protein.
It's interesting. Okay.
But I think this
one says product of Canada.
Oh.
Okay, carry on.
This one advertises 20 grams of protein in one bar.
We'll get a lot of them do have approximately that much, but we'll get there with the nutrition stuff, so you can save yourself that.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, this one looks more like a candy bar. But and we've had these before. We've got a whole case of these, which is easy.
They're just very
convenient.
I was gonna say like
it's
dense.
It is dense. It's a lot more uniform throughout. Like the filling is unlike the Clif Bar, which you can tell with the crisps. Does it taste like chocolate?
Chewy.
It is definitely chewy. Is it as appetizing as the Clif Bar? I don't think so. I think the Clif Bar had like a more fun, interesting texture.
Well, it had more going on texture-wise.
Yeah.
This just seems like a dense, like, candy bar.
Yeah.
And it's sticking to the roof of my mouth.
Does it usually do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't do that for me. Okay. I mean, I like them. They're good, solid. I don't know. Maybe this is not a control, but this is a good baseline. I think in terms of texture and flavor. I've had much, much worse.
I was gonna say, like, the after, like, whatever sweeteners, whatever that they use, it doesn't have a terrible aftertaste. Like, there's a tiny bit, but...
Yeah, it's minor.
It's just a good baseline.
Okay. So far, so good. Off to a strong start. We've got 6 more bars to go check out. Stay tuned.
And welcome back. We don't
have commercial breaks yet, but if we did, that would be
fun.
It would be fun? Commercial break? No, it would. The one positive thing I've gotten from everything is like, hey, you guys have only a few subscribers, so it's really cool that you don't have ads yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we're back to try think.
Exclamation
I feel
point.
like it should be like screamed, but don't do that.
Well, it's lowercase with an exclamation point, though.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of think? That's more of a question. Anyway,
And we have Luna. So Think came around. It used to be called Think Thin. So if you've seen that in the grocery stores in the past,
Okay.
it's the same company. They shortened the name in about 2019 or so.
Which I think is a good choice. Think Thin. I don't like it.
Well, because it came out in the 90s. So remember there were lots of like low carb, low fat, low sugar, all these things. It was like that diet culture. So it made sense. And the founder of Think was a former fashion model.
Interesting. So it seems then like a female fashion model?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems then that weight loss was more important than, I would assume, than muscle gain or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't about muscle gain. Her whole thing was, so she like traveled the world or whatever, and then like she came back to LA. And as you know, she was still trying to like pay the bills by going on probably like Go-Sees and all these other things. But in LA, you're spending a lot of time in the car because traffic is terrible. So she really wanted something that she could have that was easy and convenient and wasn't like loaded with sugar and making her feel like terrible.
Okay.
So that was kind of the brainchild of it, I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
And now they have a parent company that's actually like an Irish-based kind of fitness wellness nutrition-ish company.
Okay.
So that's just some quick things.
This one looks a lot like
a candy bar.
A candy bar. Also a lot like our pure protein. Kind of broke in the middle there. Oh, I guess that's easy.
How does
this has like
it's
spots
like
in the middle. Like
I bet those are kind of like the Rice Krispie things.
Like what the Clif Bar has.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it smells faker to me.
Yeah, they These ones are also gluten free.
So was the pure protein that we had was also gluten free.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is supposed to be brownie crunch.
I mean, it has a crunch from the...
I get the brownie flavor. I actually do get brownie. It's not just chocolate. It's kind of brownie flavor. All right. It's actually pretty good.
It's a little drier.
Yeah, but it's softer.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Low GI, whatever the hell that is.
Glycemic index. So it's not going to spike your sugar so
Gotcha.
rapidly.
Okay. Not a low-calorie food. Well, I mean, what is considered a low-calorie food? 230 calories. We'll get there. Anyway, that was actually pretty good. That went down pretty easy.
It does, and I would say the brownie is more like a cakey brownie, not a fudgy brownie.
Which Katie, if you know Katie, prefers her.
I like fudgy brownie,
likes
but
fudgy brownies.
no, that one was pleasant.
But I don't think you can have fudge and protein in the same bar, probably. Maybe you can. Maybe there's a bar. There's always going to be a bar we're missing, so as always, leave a comment and let us know what food we're missing in this comparison. Okay. All right. That was
I liked it.
actually one of the better tasting ones. Okay. Luna. Chocolate cupcake.
So Luna has been around since 1999. It was originally kind of geared more towards women.
Okay.
Probably like an untapped market at the time.
Gluten-free, non-GMO, made with organic oats and chocolate.
And this is the one that is owned by Clif. That's the third one.
Interesting. So Clif was made for guys named Cliff, and this is named for people who really enjoy
It
Harry
used
Potter.
to be...
Luna Lovegood.
No.
That was the...
I got you.
Yeah, okay. I had to say, I wasn't sure if they got it. But...
Okay.
Carry on.
So it was partially invented by like a female employee that was working at Clif, and then they were like trying to gear things more towards women. I think it's supposed to be more of like a overall nutrition bar, like a snack, as opposed to like some of the bars at the time that were like more for like people that are going on like 175-mile bike rides, or powerlifting or something. So
that's never gonna happen. I won't. Most I'll do is a half marathon. I ran a Tough Mudder once. That was actually awesome. I recommend that. But that was still only like 10 miles. So, I mean, it doesn't have. I mean, it's got 4% calcium, 10% iron, 4% potassium. 8% vitamin E, 8% phosphorus, 8% magnesium, kind of a random assortment of stuff.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be kind of an overall.
I mean, it seems to me if you're going to come up, if you're working for a company that does a bar like this, and then you decide to make a bar targeting, I think it's less about what's in the bar and more about the marketing for it. We'll make a different bar with similar ingredients. Because, I mean, they already have them there, kind of.
Well,
and
I
just
mean, now,
it
well, that's how it initially was kind of marketed, but now they even say on their website, it's for everyone. It's not just for women. But that's also
I never really thought Luna Bar was for women. I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I always thought, like, all the ads were...
You've seen after this? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Ages ago, so I don't know.
Okay. So you thought that they were targeting towards women, specifically? Oh, yeah. I had no idea. I just thought, alright, here's another bar. Okay.
Yeah.
This one actually looks like a brownie.
That looks like a dessert.
Alright, so this...
It looks like a cosmic brownie without the fun bits.
Well, I mean, it's got the sprinkles.
Yeah.
Well, it does have the swirls, which aren't bad. This actually, so appearances, it's actually the best looking one. Although I'm questioning the chocolate choices, because maybe that's just adding unnecessary stuff on top of it. Let's... Oh, that's a little stiffer to cut. Let's see.
I suppose, yeah, that looked like you...
That was a little bit of effort to cut that one. Alright, here we go.
Oh, that's like a brick.
It is, well, it's quite solid, but...
It's light, but it's solid.
No, it's surprisingly light. It doesn't feel dense.
That's me feeling.
And it kind of smells like Cocoa Krispies. To me.
Yeah, I think... No, I agree.
Yeah? Well, you can see that there's like crispy bits in here. I think.
That tastes...
Not like what I expect.
Almost like a chocolate Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah. Huh.
What is that? It's got a bit of an aftertaste.
Is there like a fruit or raspberry or something in this?
Isn't it supposed to be a cupcake?
It is.
I'm not getting a cupcake.
Agave, chicory fiber syrup. Huh. Sunflower, soybean oil. That's interesting. There's something, it's like a sweetness to it, which I can't quite place, but it's almost like raspberry.
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay. Interesting.
But
huh. I don't know how I feel about that.
The texture, I think because it has so much of those probably like puff rice or something like that, I don't feel satiated.
No, it actually does feel really light.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you're just looking for a quick bite, that's fine. But
no, but see, I feel like I would overeat. Like if I were to have that, it would be like, oh, I just had whatever amount of calories, and be like, no, I need something.
Yeah. No, and these again, any protein bar, any bar in general, but protein bar is one a day at the most, and it is designed to supplement what you're already eating. So if you're on a protein heavy diet, if you are doing some bodybuilding and you need a snack that's efficient in terms of calorie intake and protein intake, one of these a day is fine, but you still need to be having white meat, red meat occasionally, absolutely eggs, to really, that's where your
carbs, just to balance.
Yeah, all of that needs to be in there. But this feels more like a candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I bit it and then I instantly forgot about it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I don't know. It wasn't bad. Just not my favorite so far.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the halfway point. This is where we have our halftime show. That's my dance. I don't dance. I guess except for just now. I haven't recorded that. Oh, man.
Yeah, you can cut that.
Probably not. That sounds like a lot more work.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Of course it doesn't when you don't have to be the one to do it.
No, you could just be like, hey, it's the halftime show.
I could do that. This might not appear in the show.
Either that or you just have like a weird stock photo of just like fireworks or something. Why not?
And we're moving on to the last half.
Or you could have SpongeBob. You know?
All right. Yes, the SpongeBob. Okay. Now the Super Bowl's happened. I was disappointed years ago when they started to do the SpongeBob show and then they didn't commit. You know, after that was when the creator of SpongeBob died and they said, let's do the halftime show with SpongeBob saying they absolutely should have committed to that. I would have watched. Actually, I did watch and then I didn't care after that. If you're going to go all the way. Message from Rob. Now back to our program.
After
this break.
We
We can't do the morning. We'll be right back.
Okay, so now we're on to Clif version 3.
3? Oh wait,
This
version.
is the third one.
What was? Oh, the second one was.
What's Luna?
Oh, okay, so it was Clif, Luna, Clif Builders. Gotcha.
As far as I can tell, that this came out around 2001-ish. From what I could see online. So.
Okay. I mean, I like the packaging. I don't know. I like the silvery color on this one. I don't
It's
know why.
appealing. It's.
Yeah. It feels like take this and go to the gym. Also, Builder is a good name for if you're.
Well, because you're you're trying to build muscle and.
Right. Okay. What do we know about them? Or I guess is it all the same stuff?
Yeah, it's basically the same stuff.
Okay. So it's the bigger bar. It looks a lot like those.
It looks
Pure
like it
protein.
went to the gym.
Ugh,
What it does, it's
No, it's fine.
It's not puny, which
okay.
I like because especially if I'm wanting a snack or something, I want.
It
Then
looks.
it'll fill me up.
No, it's fair. So it's got like crispy bits in the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and it has clear delineations for whatever's on top, the filling, which looks.
It looks like a more. I don't know.
It smells like Kahlua or something. Is that what that? What is that?
That may be one of the whatever sweetener they have in it.
Which I think I actually, I think I might know what that is. No, okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
it must be from like the whatever
But
syrup.
are
they
you
have.
getting that too?
Yeah.
It kind of.
It almost smells. Yeah,
like
Kahlua.
Kahlua.
So
Interesting.
it could be like a. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of sweetener.
Well, here we go.
Smells like that.
Have you had a Clif Builder?
Mm-mm.
Me neither.
What is that sweetener? It almost tastes like fruity.
Yeah. Same with the, like we had
With
the
the
Luna bar.
Luna. Yeah.
So there's something there. Whatever they're using to sweeten it is similar between the two. I think more than the other ones, this tastes like a candy bar. This for some reason the texture makes me think candy bar. Huh. Okay. I mean, there is something like a lingering kind of subtle aftertaste that maybe it's the crispy bits. I don't know. Huh. I mean,
It took me way too long to like actually swallow it all because it just.
it is a little. It's chewier than the others, I think, as well.
But I want to know what's with all like the puff rice or whatever that's in there.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, it's that's the thing that's consistent for for all the Clif bars.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
a
been
puff
in
rice.
all those, and then it was in the. Was it in the Think?
Was it? I
Some
think
sort
it.
of brownie.
I think it was in the thing.
I think it was.
It seemed to have a bit, but Clif seems to
but-
be the most egregious with it. So Clif
Is
across
it just to make you feel like you're eating more? Like
Maybe.
to fill up.
because the puff rice thing is. It's mostly air, right? It just kind of takes up space.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like it's gonna. It looks
But it
more
makes me at
imposing than
least
it
just
actually
think of
feels.
breakfast.
Yeah, I think even the pure protein bar felt more filling.
Yeah.
Than any of these. There was like a
Well,
density
because
to
it was. Yeah, exactly. I would say that and even the Think because it only had it for like slight texture.
Mhm.
That they seem more substantial compared to the Clif.
Yeah, I'm
versions.
unimpressed with just the.
It was okay.
It was fine. Again, middling. There's nothing wrong. Even the kids nowadays are saying this thing like, "Oh, something's mid, something's mid." Being mid is not a bad thing. That's not bad. That just means average. And being average
C
is
is a passing grade.
it's
folks.
fine. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It
Yeah,
is a
C is a
passing
passing grade.
grade.
No, that's true. Although C is like a 70, right? Which isn't.
I don't know.
mid
It
would be-
depends on what school system.
That seems like a
you're
really
in,
complicated
so.
one. More importantly, mid is not bad. It's okay. It's fine. I'm ambivalent towards it. Now this I find interesting. Plant-based protein bar, Raw Rev,
Yes.
double chocolate brownie batter,
Okay, so
vegan also,
yeah, it's
and
got all-
gluten-free.
So it's like vegan, gluten-free, all the things that folks in California
Care about?
care about. So it is also. Did you say it was kosher as well? Because it
Oh,
has that.
it does have the kosher symbol, non-GMO verified.
It is stevia-free, so it should kind of avoid some of the potential
health
like
effects.
aftertaste
Of stevia.
that can be with that.
It's a plastic neutral product, supposedly certified.
So they partner with this third party called Repurpose Global. So they're about kind of minimizing plastic waste.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool, and it's called Raw Rev. So it's short for Raw Revolution, as in like.
Not like Raw Reverend. I think of Rev. I think of Reverend.
Oh.
No.
Like
a reverend.
A holy person.
Like a holy person.
Or a minister.
Well, that'd be a reverend. That'd be a min. That's Raw Rev, not Raw Mini.
You could be a minister and be called reverend. Can't you?
How this works. I don't know. We had Catholicism, man. We had priests we called father.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, it's called that from the vegan plant-based kind of just like raw food movement.
Which, by the way, the packaging says right here with an asterisk, not a raw food.
It's because it's inspired by the reason they can't have it probably is because it has to be shelf stable.
Ingredients are heated for food safety, made in the USA with domestic imported ingredients. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just think it's funny. Raw Rev, it's not raw, obviously.
It was inspired.
No, and that's fine because yes, food safety, you can't have it be actually raw.
And so did I say that this came out in 2004? I don't remember. So if I did, sorry, I repeated myself.
Whatever.
It was founded by a registered nurse who also got involved in, like, I guess the raw foods movement, also wanting some kind of option because everything in the grocery store is just loaded with some kind of sugar. So
there's something to be said for a healthcare worker who takes an interest in nutrition in this way and then they develop it like this. There's a baseline of something useful there, assuming that person is still involved pretty heavily in the manufacturing of this. There's something to be said for that. Now, this stuff is like, Granddad used to be a doctor and he made this stuff, and 85 years later we're still doing the same stuff, but we changed the ingredients really heavily and now to make it more affordable. I feel like there's always the potential to lose sight of that. So there's something, I suppose, comforting in like, all right, cool, healthcare worker came up with this. Interesting. I mean, although, cocoa power processed with alkali, organic and natural flavors, vegetable glycerin, flax protein powder, sunflower. Yeah, some of these words you can't even pronounce. Monk fruit extract. That's a common thing for sweeteners in general. Yeah. Monk fruit. Anyway. Is that all our fun facts?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Plus, I like the packaging. It looked nice.
That is a very sticky kind of, well, I guess you'll have a second.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's kind of like, it's not a textured bar. It's kind of, which I find actually kind of weird. I don't know.
It's too smooth?
It's too smooth. Is that weird?
No.
And there's no delineation here. It is just, I mean, like maybe the outer coating slightly. It's just a brick of whatever this is, but that might not be a bad thing.
Cocoa powder.
Oh.
What does that smell?
What is that? That's like, hold on. What is that?
It could be the monk fruit.
No, it's gotta be, I mean, maybe, but there's like a spice in there. I could almost smell like some kind of herb or spice. It's chocolate.
Like an earthiness? Like
something.
Not like a clove or anything.
No,
right?
no, cloves are sweet. No, I don't know what it's like.
I don't know.
It's like some kind of spice or something that's...
We need to have someone come onto the show that, like, is kind of, like, someone who works in perfume or someone who knows how to, like...
Detect these kind of... What is that stuff?
Because I feel like half the time we're like, I don't know what this smells like.
Yeah, what's true. I don't know where they're getting... Or just a combination of things that make a really weird smell. Anyway, here we go. That is very chewy. It doesn't taste like anything at first.
No. But the more you chew it...
Huh.
I'm not getting chocolate.
Nope. I'm not getting good. Like, it's not good.
It's chewy.
Yeah, it is that.
There's not... Why is it so chewy?
I don't know. There's not actually a lot of flavor.
It's sweet.
It's a little sweet. There's not a lot of flavor. And
all over my teeth.
Yeah.
It's almost like peanut butter stuck on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah. Well, very chewy. The most chewy we've had. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of flavor. And when it does hit, I can't identify it. And then it's gone. So it's...
But the chewiness remains.
Yeah. The chewiness lasts longer than the flavor.
So for texture, if you were to try a different flavor, would you try it?
Of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the heck, why not? I would try it. Why, you going somewhere with that?
No.
No. All right.
I'm just curious.
I mean, I would try one more because you never know.
Well, because it could be a one-off of maybe that. Like, I don't know if that's one of their most popular. I would imagine so because, like, chocolate, peanut butter, those are kind of like typical ones that you see in the grocery store.
And peanut butter makes sense because it's a calorically dense and also high protein food in general. So it makes sense to put a lot of peanuts or peanut butter into whatever you're eating if your goal is caloric intake or protein.
Yeah.
Okay. That was
that
was my least favorite so far, I think.
Really?
Is it yours? I guess we'll get there.
I don't know.
You gotta start thinking about this. Can we?
Okay.
So start processing these.
I am processing.
And
I'm trying to rank pros and cons to each.
All right. Well, then we're going to throw in the nutrition facts. So we'll I guess get to that rubric when we get there.
Yeah.
We're down to 2 bars, so you only have that much time to think about what your favorite is.
Oh goodness.
Here we go. Final 2. We in this video have been questing for an answer to the best bar, and the next up is Quest. That was actually that was terrible for me. That was pretty bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay.
It didn't hit the mark.
It often doesn't.
You wouldn't get some money from someone in a video game with that delivery.
What? Go ahead, explain this reference. Hold on. I wouldn't get money from a person in a video game with that reference.
Yeah,
Carry
it's
on.
like an NPC. Like you go up and then they have the little question mark or the little exclamation point. And then if you said, "Oh, I'm questing to do this," I think they would be like,
they're like,
"Thank you, have a nice day."
Okay, all right. That required a bit of explanation.
It did,
okay.
But it made sense in my head. So
no, and that's fine. That's fine. Quest double chocolate chunk. What do we know about Quest double
Quest
chocolate
came
chunk?
out in 2010. They've been in most grocery stores, I think, since like 2015.
I've heard a lot about Quest. It's one of the ones that I think is a fairly become kind of a staple for some folks.
It has. I mean, I know ages and ages ago I used to eat those, but I don't remember anything about them.
I mean, ages and ages ago is
not like
less
10
than 15 years ago. Okay. It's still a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we know about it?
The whole, they're called Quest because they're supposed to be supporting you on your quest to better health or whatever
Also gluten free. A lot of these are gluten. I think most of these, if not all of them, are gluten free.
I think most of them are.
Okay.
And then they use dairy-based protein. So if you are vegan or something like that, this probably won't be an option for you.
Dairy-based protein is...
It's like whey protein.
It's a normal thing. Whey protein is quite good for you, and it's a good way to supplement. Again, supplementing.
Yeah.
So that is not an unusual thing.
And then they also use low-calorie sweeteners that on their company website or whatever. They say that their low-calorie sweeteners are not your body doesn't metabolize them. So whatever it is like a... So
it literally just runs through your system. It's there for flavor and it runs through your system. Okay. Yeah. And distributor Quest Nutrition LLC El Segundo. We've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's California based?
It is. It's Southern California based. It's 45 minutes that way. One of those ways. I don't know which way.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
South. Wherever south is.
I guess, it is south.
Yeah.
From here. Anyway. This looks like... This is another one that has like a weird texture. It's kind of like matte. I don't know about that. That's weird. It also has a weird bump in the back where I assume a chocolate chip fell out. Or something like it. It's also like, is that a chocolate chip? It's like, I don't know. I'm not too big on the appearance of this one. This one... What?
I don't... It's kind of like a brick, but...
Well, and this one doesn't even have like a coating around it. This is just, hey, we squeeze this out. Here it is.
It doesn't have a lot of give.
No.
Like, you have to...
No, it's feels kind of dense. It's probably going to be really chewy. And it smells fake?
Yeah.
It smells fake.
It smells fake.
Here we go. What is happening?
I like the bits of chocolate.
I'm trying to process what's going on in my mouth right now. There's a lot happening.
It's very dry.
It is very dry. Huh. Kind of like grainy. I don't know, like there's...
Grainy?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like some of these other ones are bars that just. I don't know. It's just like a pile of mush that eventually hits your mouth and start chewing it, but it still feels like weird and separated or something. Like
It's just very dry.
maybe that's what it is. It's just breaking up in kind of like a harsh kind of way. Huh.
Like somehow it's almost like hydrophobic.
Mm.
Like in your mouth.
Huh. Yeah, my mouth is dry for that. Huh. I actually on the end of things I care for of everything we've tried so far.
Yeah, I think the texture for me.
That's enough for me, dog.
It's a thanks, but no thanks.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Our X bar, our
last
8th
one.
and final bar. I keep track of calories, and I have no idea what I'm up to. Because I've eaten portions of all of these, and I don't. This is gonna be an off day. This will be my cheat day where I just don't calculate this. Now our X bar, you can tell us about actually. There's no BS.
Yes. It started in 2013 by two friends. They I guess started making these in like one of their mother's basements.
Why don't enemies make stuff together? It's not a joke. Like,
Because
I mean, it's
you
always
have
friends.
to, no, because you have to argue.
Well, that seems perfect.
No, I mean, I'm thinking if you are enemies, like, you don't have the other person's interest in mind. At least if you're friends, in theory, you're going to work through whatever arguments.
You never watched Seinfeld, but that reminds me of the episode where Kramer and what's his name, George's dad, made
Mr. Costanza.
Mr. Costanza made a bra for men, and they argued about the name, either calling it a man's ear or a bro. Where do you sit on that?
I like bro.
Bro?
Yeah.
Okay. Man's ear has like a finesse.
Fanciness.
The man's ear.
No, it does, but a bro and a bra.
Well, yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
right. The bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay, I feel. All right.
It's snappy.
It just reminds me of that. Anyway, so a couple friends made this in mom's basement.
Initially, and then they kind of, branched out from there, but it's all about using clean ingredients, and that, there's ingredients that you can recognize, which is why it says, like, for this bar, there are 3 egg whites, there are, like,
6 almonds.
6 almonds, cashews, dates.
6 almonds is not a lot of almonds. 6 almonds, 4 cashews, 2 dates, no
Yeah.
BS.
So, yeah, obviously it uses powdered eggs because for texture and...
How does one powder an egg?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I didn't look it up. I'm sure it has something to do with, like, dehydrating, like, a fully cooked egg white or something, and then they, like, powder it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could
Contains
think
eggs, almonds, cashews.
of. Yeah, but see, isn't that nice so you can pronounce everything?
Ingredients: dates, egg whites, cashews, almonds, chocolate, cocoa, natural flavors, sea salt. I hate the natural flavors thing.
I know.
Natural flavors, no
I don't
artificial
know what
flavors,
that means,
sea salt.
but...
You know what? And have you ever had one of these?
I don't think so.
I have. I don't know if I've had this flavor. I've definitely had these. This is chocolate sea
Why
salt.
is there an anchor on it?
Is that a trick question? Do you know the answer?
No, I don't actually know,
There's a
but
little
I do know that their first what do you call it? Like, label was made in PowerPoint. So they were very much like a grass.
No, and that's
like
fair. If you're
small...
making this in mom's basement, you're like, hey, let's make something that's
Yeah.
actually better that we can recognize with. That actually makes a heck of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
I'm excited.
yeah, I've had these. These sometimes show up on set at Crafty. So, that's interesting looking. Oh, okay. So
A good amount of salt.
You can see
on
the salt
top.
on it. It's got some white, whatever that is.
You mean those are?
Oh,
nuts?
those must be the nuts. I guess. Well, I just.
Oh.
I guess. They say it. I just expect them to be like ground up to so
Yeah.
fine that you can't actually tell what these are. Okay, this one looks. I'm cutting through one of these nuts. Okay, fairly appetizing.
I mean, it's
very
nice to be able to recognize at least some of the
You can actually see what it
ingredients.
is. Okay,
It's probably sticky because of the dates.
that makes sense. So a bit of delineation.
It smells like dates.
It does. It smells like dates and chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. Really chewy.
That's really chewy.
That is extremely chewy.
I like this one.
Yeah, no, it's quite good. Okay.
It's really hard to talking to because it's so chewy.
Yeah, no, this is. I picked a terrible thing to eat and have a conversation about.
How do you feel about the sea salt?
I could take it or leave it. I mean, I guess.
I think it's nice to balance, but I think they could have done with just a tiny bit less.
Yeah. I can see why they wanted to add it, just to give it a little bit more complexity, but. Huh. Yeah, I think that's all like blended date or whatever that is what's causing that flavor. Okay.
I like it.
Have you decided what your favorites are? Not out loud, just in general. Probably not. She's already.
Yes.
Yes. Really? You got like a top 3 because it's going to be harder to narrow down.
Yeah.
We're not going to rank these all quite the same way. We're going to provide a bunch of information in terms of what has the best chew, the best flavor, the best texture, and then we're going to provide you with some nutrition facts, and then you can make your own decisions, which we'll do in just a moment. What's more?
No, I have my top 3.
You have your top 3?
Yes.
What's interesting? All right. Let's
What's interesting?
No, not what's. So, okay. Final thoughts or comparisons and all that jazz. I guess, what are your top 3?
Okay, my top 3 are the Fink.
Okay.
The...
We're not doing a full ranking, we're just getting approximations.
We're just getting approximations.
Okay.
The RX bar.
Okay.
And just pure protein.
Okay. So, oh boy, I'm starting to forget what we've had.
Also curious that 3 of them are purple.
Oh yeah, that is kind of a... What are your bottom ones?
My bottom ones are the Builders.
Okay.
The only reason, because it just had a little too much of the puff rice.
Okay.
The Luna.
Okay.
The Quest.
Quest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I at least like the texture of the Raw Rev being chewy, but it was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, it's, again...
But like the Quest, for some reason, no matter how much I had it in my mouth, it was still dry.
Yeah, no, the Quest was dry.
That said, if like that was the only protein bar available and I really needed one, like I'd probably still eat it. It's not like it's not... You can still eat it.
I don't like the Raw Rev.
Mm-hmm. I like that it has bits of chocolate in there for the Quest, but that's kind of its only redeeming thing for me.
Yeah. And then these other ones, yeah, you're right.
They're just too...
There's too much puff.
Yeah. Like, I feel like
It's a Rice Krispie treat.
Well, if I wanted a Rice Krispie treat, I would make my own Rice Krispie treat, and it would be delicious.
Sure, be better. Now...
Because that's what it's missing. It's missing the marshmallow.
Yeah. Now, I think I do actually like the Clif Bar.
No, I do. I like that. That's like probably number 4 for me.
Yeah.
Like a good solid, if I was hungry, I would feel satisfied.
Yeah. And the Think Bar is actually not bad either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I think I generally agree with these. Although this one, tasty, extremely chewy.
Yeah, but I like that.
I don't know if I like
Except if I'm supposed to be
much.
talking to you guys, because that's kind of gross if I have like schmutz in my teeth.
Okay, so this is extremely approximately, in terms of texture and flavor, between Katie and I think which we mostly agree with. Top 3, you're looking at RX Bar, Pure Protein, and Think. Clif somewhere in the middle, Raw Rev's probably close to the middle, and Clif, regular Clif Bar, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, regular Clif.
But Luna, Quest, and Clif Builders, bottom. And I think that strictly has to do, again, with just a lot of texture. Which, I mean, and because so much of the bar itself is taken up with this puff pastry, it's also going to impact the flavor of it too, because now you've got a lot of this unnecessary puff
It's just
rice.
it was more air,
Yeah.
so I felt like I was eating air.
Yeah. Which, I guess if you don't want to feel full, I guess just have less? I don't know. Anyway, all right, there's our flavor profiles. Do we want to talk how much these guys cost?
Sure.
Okay, let's go down the line in order. Do we have it in order?
I have it on my
Go ahead.
little thing. So what are we starting with? Clif? Regular?
Clif Bar.
Okay, the regular Clif Bar was $1.99.
Do you have a pen?
Yep. Oh, it was already ready.
Okay. All right, $1.99 for the Clif Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Pure protein.
Pure protein, I estimated at $2.
All right, so about $2.
Yeah.
Okay, think.
Think was $2.49.
2.5. Okay. Luna.
Luna, on the other side of my handy dandy sheet, was $1.39.
$1.30. That's actually pretty good.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You're eating mostly air.
Clif Builders.
Was $2.50.
2.5. Raw Rev.
Raw Rev was $2.99.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, you're paying for
Yeah. Quest.
ingredients. Quest was $2.89.
Interesting. And RX Bar.
And RX Bar was $1. Wait, no, that's not it. $2.79.
Interesting. So the ones that have the more natural, supposedly, ingredients, your Raw Rev, your RX Bar, I mean, expectedly, are
Yeah.
more expensive. Okay. Interesting. So, now, if you're trying to have these practically, again, we're not nutritionists, we're not dietitians, we're not
not experts. We are consumers just like you are.
Yes. And we're trying to make informed decisions and healthy eating with what we put into our bodies.
Yeah.
So that being said, it does help to know side by side what these actually have in them and how close they are to being healthy, right? Okay, now onto the nutrition for each of these. Now I'm not going to break this down overly much. We'll have a chart that is, I'll throw up on screen here. That'll have all the readings, so you can pause and look at that if you so choose. But we're just going to talk about the winners and the losers of this. So we've got a lot to choose from. And if you're looking for a protein bar, it is important to know that your Luna, your Raw Rev, and your RX Bar at 8, 10, and 12 grams respectively are not designed really to be protein bars. That's not enough protein if you're looking for a protein supplement. Although they're quite good in and of themselves, protein is not really their focus. Now, other things worth considering, we have our calories per protein, which is going to be how many calories does 1 gram of protein actually require. So, for example, our Clif Bar, right here, has 10 grams of protein and 250 calories, which gives it a 25-to-1 ratio of calories per protein. It's actually our big loser tonight, because the carbs are also the highest at 43 grams and sugars at 17 grams, which 16 of those are added sugars. So the Clif Bar, the original Clif Bar, is great, tasty, and if you're going to run or jog or bike 175 miles and you need the energy, Clif Bar makes sense. But if you're looking to focus on protein intake, perhaps you're cutting, Clif Bar just does not cut it. Now, the rest of these, we also have the Clif Builders, if you're looking from the same company. Might be worth it for a bulk, if that's what you're doing. But at 280 calories, 20 grams of protein, and again, 17 grams of sugars, and 9 grams of fat, which is some of our worst, it's not great. 14-to-1 ratio calories per protein. If you want a bulk, maybe try that, but that's not my recommendation. Which brings us down to our last 6. So our winners, in terms of like best calories per protein, with also lower carbs, lower sugar, and lower calories in general, I would say our number 1 is actually the pure protein. 180 calories, 8.57-to-1 ratio of calories per protein, and 3 grams of sugar, but with 4 grams of sugar alcohols. Now, sugar alcohols are processed differently by your body. I looked it up. I forgot it already, but I'll leave a little note about that difference. But the pure protein is actually quite fantastic if you're looking to get low calories, high protein. The other competitor is actually going to be the Quest Bar, which comes in just slightly better at, 8.5-to-1. So 0.07 better than this, than the pure protein. But
The taste.
the taste was terrible. I didn't like the Quest.
It wasn't really the taste, it's the texture.
Yeah. That's like a It's not the heat, it's the humidity. I don't know why I maybe thinking something like that. It's not the heat that gets you, the humidity. It's not the taste that gets you, it's the texture.
It is because
the texture does make a difference.
It somehow tasted like, or it felt like it was a powder somehow in my mouth.
Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
All right.
Like you said, that one also has like it's purely.
Which one?
The Quest. It only relies on sugar alcohol.
Yes. So the Quest is an interesting one, and it doesn't win for sugar in general. If we're calling all things being equal, and they're not necessarily, but pure protein does 3 grams of sugar and 4 grams of sugar alcohol. Now these are different. You have sugars, included sugars as a subsection, or added sugars as a subsection, and then an entirely different thing is sugar alcohols, which again is processed differently by your body. See it below. The Quest one is interesting because it's 1 gram of sugar and 9 grams of sugar alcohols, or sorry, less than a gram of sugar and 9 grams of sugar alcohols. Which makes sense. Does it make sense, Quest? No, it's just the way they approach it. Think Bar does something very similar, where there's no sugar, but 8 grams of sugar alcohols. And Think is the one that was made by the model, I think you said?
Yeah.
So that actually makes sense. You want a sugar that's easier to process for your body, that doesn't linger in the same way, that burns off easier, if you're trying to actually think thin, as they used to be called. And let's see. So we've got our big winners. And as far as our Think does well in terms of protein, second place. Clif Builders, second place for just raw protein. Quest Bar does quite well in that regard, but we've got Luna Raw Rev and Met RX. Or not Met RX, RX Bar.
Yeah.
But the Raw Rev, the Luna, and the RX bars, these aren't really protein bars. These are also kind of candy. They're not protein focused. Now they've got other stuff going on, but they're more like lighter snacks. And it's better than like a Hershey's bar, but that doesn't necessarily make them good. So, what does this all mean? I mean, have what works for you, what fits in your budget. I mean, these are all kind of expensive. Whatever works for you.
Or, make your own.
You could make your own.
That's what
that's what
a lot of
these
these folks
people
started.
did.
So,
for my purposes, based, and the nutrition part is the part I care about a little bit more. And, with the flavor being close enough. I mean, some of these are terrible. Some of these just taste terrible, and so it doesn't matter how good. The Quest Bar, sorry, even though the Quest Bar is very close, I think, in content to what the pure protein is, the taste on this is so much worse that I'm still going to go with the pure protein. And compared to all these, while I do enjoy the taste of some of these, I actually still prefer the pure protein. That's my pick.
Yeah. That's your only pick?
That's my one pick. If I'm going to use a bar once a day to help supplement, my protein and to help me keep going for workouts, I want the pure protein. Now, I'm sure there's other bars out there that might be a little more efficient or better, tasting better, whatever. And please let us know what those are. And we will absolutely check them out in a part 2 at some point. Or maybe some kind of, shorts update or something.
Something like that. No, but I agree.
I'm going pure protein.
I agree.
Now, you feel the same? I mean, if you're here's your numbers.
I mean, it was my top 3.
It was.
So,
what else was in your top 3? The Think?
My top 3 was, Think, and then the RX bar just because it tastes good. And...
Right, but the RX bar, as we know, doesn't have a lot of protein, and neither does the Think.
No, but I mean, let's say I was, I don't know, we're on a road trip or something, and it's not just like beef jerky and Cheez-Its or something, I would want...
Now, beef jerky, having done 2 road trips together, I will say beef jerky is actually an important and necessary
all
road tripping food. The salt, because it helps you hold in your bladder better, because I have a baby bladder, and I'm the one who has to stop every 10 miles to use the rest stop.
Yeah.
So that I learned is actually super important. But, I mean...
the Cheez-Its is just to make me happy, because
Katie just likes Cheez-Its. We'll, at some point, we'll probably do the Cheez-Its episode.
There's just so many kinds, though.
Oh, that's a problem for you.
Where are we going to store all the Cheez-Its?
It's true. We got a lot of the food here is taken up by stuff we've done previously or will be doing soon.
That we're slowly eating through.
Yeah. So, okay.
No, but anyway, back to what I was saying. You have your jerky, you have your Cheez-Its, maybe like Trump Trail Mix, whatever. I would have one of these.
You'd have a Met RX bar.
Yeah.
Or RX bar.
No, the RX bar.
RX bar.
I would like it, and I know what's in it because they're being transparent of,
Yeah. No, and
what is in it, and
that's
I like
the other thing to consider is are you in a gluten-free diet? Are you looking for something kosher? Are you looking for vegan? Whatever. And that's absolutely...
You have a marketplace for it.
You do. So there's going to be something there for you. Just,
there's pros and cons to all of these, actually. So.
Yes, 100%. I very much enjoy protein. I love meat. And the pure protein covers that, and it does give you the whey protein, which I do actually enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts about these? It's a little bit of an info dump, so sorry, not sorry, but it's stuff that's worth knowing. And to be an informed consumer and to really understand what you're putting into your body, it's worth knowing these things, which is why we do it. And again,
well, and also like where the companies who are their parent companies. If you
don't want to support Mendeley, for example,
yeah.
and there's good reason to not, there you go. So, and I had higher expectations for Clif, but it is closer to the candy bar spectrum of things. But it's not.
But
it's tasty.
let's say if you, we were going on a really heavy workout, beyond our general 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
You would still probably.
No,
want that.
I do think the Clif bars make sense for an energy perspective. I'm gonna run a marathon. I'm gonna go biking for miles and miles. I'm gonna go hiking the Appalachian Trail. Whatever. That makes sense. But if you're looking to strength train, weight train, which is what we do, maybe you need something.
Maybe not so much. What?
Maybe you need more protein. Which for those, we talk about the importance of protein in your workout in general, and it does help really recover your muscles so you can get back in the gym faster, so you can be lifting harder, that kind of thing.
Plus, you don't feel like you're struggling as much when you're trying to lift.
It's true.
I do notice a difference.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is, we'll have
enough
a good
energy.
arm day.
So if you're going to have a snack before you go to the gym, this is just general advice. Do it half an hour to an hour before, so it's not sitting in you, especially. We usually start with cardio and then we go into our workout. But we're just going to start rambling about health-related stuff, so maybe we should just cut the show. This is no longer a comparison.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Whatever.
No, now it's just a Rob's Rambles.
That's a good one. Oh, that's good. Okay.
So anyway, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below of what your favorite protein bar is, or if there's one that we did not try, because we only had 8. Because that was still a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
That was a good
I have
amount
no idea what my calories and protein are for the day.
Yeah.
And you can find us always at Care Compares on Instagram or
on RGP Film.
What did
I say?
RGP?
Oh.
RJPfilms.com
yeah.
/KR Compares.
Yes. You know what I was thinking? RPG. That's
I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3
Yes, I
lately.
have.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Katie.
You got anything clever to say? Workout.
You better get swole. It's like that guy.
Robert Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Hey, he's another Robert.
Bye, everybody.